including 6 in ICU. We currently have more than 19,000 active cases in the state. Memorials are being held in Texas as investigations into the police response to the deadly school shooting ramp up. US correspondent Alison Petrovsky has more.
The first memorial service for the 19 students and 2 teachers killed at the Robb Elementary shooting has taken place in Uvalde this morning. The US Justice Department has launched an inquiry into the delayed police response. New dispatch audio released indicates police were aware that at least one child was trapped in the room with the gunman. Meanwhile, a 10-year-old boy has been arrested and charged in Florida after allegedly sending a text message threatening to shoot up his elementary school. Police say the 5th grader acted like a little delinquent and was now experiencing real consequences.
Now turning to 5AA sport. North Melbourne's Tom Lynch has called time on his AFL career as the club opens up a second list spot for tomorrow's mid-season draft. Lynch joined the Roos in March as a pre-season supplementary pick, but didn't play any senior games for the club. In tennis, another chapter in the rivalry of tennis giants Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic will be written tonight when they meet in the French Open quarter-finals. Craig Gabriel reports from Paris.
The stats are quite remarkable between them. This will be their 59th meeting, which is the most prolific rivalry in men's tennis. Djokovic leads 30-28, but here at Roland Garros, they've played 9 times and Nadal has won 7. The last encounter was in the semis last year and Novak won.
Playing him in Roland Garros is always a physical battle.
The other men's match has Carlos Alcaraz playing Alexander Zverev. Charlie beat Sasha in the Madrid final recently.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Jebbs Cross, truck smash on Grand Junction Road near Prospect Road. Stobie Pole across the road there, and the outbound lane is also closed. You can use Cavan Road to avoid. Elizabeth South smash on the Phillip Highway near Manston Street. Wingfield blackout South Road near Cormac Road, and Erindale urgent gasworks on Glenbird Road near Stanley Street. Look out for a camera 2 Black Road at Flagstaff Hill. What's better than getting a mouth-watering Krispy Kreme original glazed donut? Getting 4 of them. For a limited time only, get the $10 4-pack for just $8 at OTR stores. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast: showers and windy this afternoon 14, cloudy tomorrow 15, and Thursday a possible shower 15. Right now it's 12 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
A missing man found dead in a remote South Australian town. His mate says he fell from a car, but police say it was murder. New details in the Clemzig baby abduction drama. Why drinking multiple cups of coffee could help you live longer. Tips to get the most from your tax return. And no contract. Could Taylor Walker leave the Crows? I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to the show. It is 8 minutes past 3 o'clock. Great to have your company today. It's now time to talk motoring with Trent Nikolic from drive.com.au. If you've got a question that you'd like to ask about your car, you may be buying, selling, you might have a classic one sitting there wanting to know roughly how much it costs, now's the time to give us a buzz.
Life is a highway, I will ride it all night long.
Good afternoon to you, Trent Nikolic. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jade. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm well, thanks. How are you going?
Really good. Bit chilly down here. We're getting a little bit of that rain that you've had. About time.
We couldn't let you have all the fun down there, could we?
No, you're so kind. Hey, something that is not very kind is the pain at the Bowser. Yikes. Where, albeit today when I left home I saw $1.85, which was pretty cheap actually, but
Yep.
that's not going to last for very long, is it?
No, it's not. And I think the reality is we've run a report, if you want to have a look at some of the details, obviously, if you're listening in, go to drive.com.au, but we've run a report on the fact that petrol, diesel and electricity are all going to go up in the next few months. And the simple reality is that we're going to get slugged at the Bowser when we pay bills, fueling up the car, paying for electricity at home, whatever it might be. The fuel excise, as we know, was halved to 22 cents per litre in March. So that was a government initiative. As best I understand it, obviously the then Liberal government made the call, but as best I understand it, the Labor Party suggested it would have done exactly the same thing. So the national average price at the time went from a high of $2.13 down to about $1.66. I've started to see it creep up a little bit again recently, although that price you saw in Adelaide this morning seems to me to be fairly reasonable. But yeah, I think the reality is, and this would have been, let's keep politics out of it, this would have been regardless of which government had been elected, whether it was Liberal, Labor, wouldn't have mattered if it was Greens or Independent. But just the simple reality of rising inflation and continued rising costs everywhere else means that fuel and electricity will just keep going up.
It's an interesting one, though. We're going to talk to Steve Shearer, who's the Chief Executive of the SA Road Transport Association, because truckies are screaming for this to end because it's actually it's been devastating for them, but, good for us. But anyway, we'll touch on that later in the program. We've got Debbie on the line from South Plympton who's called in about her Honda. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, guys. Actually, it's not mine. What happened is we managed to buy our youngest son a car on the weekend. And we bought a genuine one-owner 1999 Honda Civic with a genuine floor mat, genuine lamp seat covers, a genuine 51,000 Ks on the clock.
Wow.
Books, every service, all the records, everything for under $5,000. Do you think that was a good buy?
Yeah, I do, largely because it's such an original, low mileage, well looked after car of that quality. So yeah, I do think it was a good buy. I think the thing with Japanese cars, and Jade, you will have heard me say this to your listeners many times now, but the things with Japanese cars is they're built to such a high standard as a general rule, especially brands like Honda and Toyota and Mazda, built to a very high standard. So if you buy one as a second-hand vehicle and it's been looked after and serviced, you're never going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, and apparently it was my son's dream car. Little did we know.
He's hit the jackpot. That's so good.
Yeah,
he'll love it.
He reckons it's got social history.
Fair enough. Well, run with it. They were such a popular car in my day. That was the it car to have. I was like a cheaper version of a sports car, weren't they?
Absolutely, very much so. And Jade, I've said this before too. You and I are a similar age, and Hondas, in the early 90s, when people our age were starting to get their license, starting to buy their first car, that was an aspirational car. To own a Honda was sort of half a step towards the European brand. So you're right, absolutely.
It certainly was. What can you tell us about the Kia electric vehicle 9, the electric Land Cruiser?
Yeah, EV9. So basically what it is, it's a large SUV. So when we've said in the story there, the Toyota Land Cruiser competitor, it kind of is that size vehicle, the EV9. So it's going to be a large SUV. It's going to take on the likes of Land Cruiser, Kluger, those kinds of vehicles. And it's been spied testing. So we've got some, camouflage photos, I guess is the best way to describe it, of it testing in South Korea. And look, I think it's going to be really interesting because we've seen with Kia EV6 that it's been incredibly successful. Obviously, like they can't get enough stock. And I think the only thing with electric vehicles at the moment is supply, Jade. I think, we're not going to start seeing them in wholesale numbers like we do Toyota RAV4 or Toyota Corolla or Mazda CX-5. But as many as they can get into Australia, they are finding buyers for. So stock is the problem at the moment.
So Kia, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's just go back maybe 10 years ago. They probably didn't have the best rap for safety. Where do they stand now?
Those brands, so Kia and Hyundai, the likes of those brands are right up at the top of the tree. So basically, with only a couple of exceptions, nearly every vehicle that they release in Australia gets a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. They take safety very seriously, and that's one of the things, like they needed to do that in Australia to get that foothold in the market. So yeah, that is nothing to worry about anymore.
We're going to take a short break. If you'd like to call in and ask Trent Nikolic, Managing Editor at drive.com.au, a question about your car. You might be eyeing off one to buy or sell, or need to get your son, daughter, grandchild into a car. He's the man to ask. 8223 0000.
G'day, Malcolm Blight here. Are you looking for a self-contained shower and toilet caravan? Knowles Island Star Caravans specialise in shower and toilet vans. They have a big range. All caravans can be custom built to your design to suit your individual needs. If you have been thinking of building a caravan to your specifications, place your trust in the hands of a professional at Knowles Island Star Caravans, 561 Salisbury Highway, Greenfields, opposite Mawson Lakes.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
I want to be a teacher.
Those are the words of 8-year-old Anna, a little girl with a dream for her future. The only thing standing in her way is poverty. 1 in 6 Australian children are living in poverty right now. Many don't have everything they need for school and may never reach their potential. With your help, Anna can access extra learning support to keep up at school and build the future she deserves. Search the Smith family and donate today.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Here's who you can support around Adelaide. Thinking of renovating or building? Then don't miss the Master Builders Home Show at the Adelaide Showground this Friday to Sunday with free entry. More info at kjex.com.au. Explore more with Region 7 Seas Cruises 2-category upgrade and $1,000 US shipboard credit per suite. T's and C's apply. Visit pht.com.au. Celebrate Judy Garland's 100th birthday and watch Meet Me in St. Louis with live music tribute by Selena Britz. Holiday Monday, June 13 at 2 p.m. Capri Theatre. Book at capri.org.au. FIVEAA, supporting local business.
You've selected your block up on the river. Your mind is buzzing with ideas. This is going to be the best river home ever. Raised high, breezes flowing, great times ahead. But first, you need to walk through the Selector Homes display village and let your design ideas flow. Selector Homes have been creating holiday homes for over 25 years and they are experts in building pole homes. Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
Good morning, Graham. Hey, Gray.
Graham, great to see you. Okay.
That was Graham before he went to Ultramatic for a CPAP machine. It's so small, he doesn't even know he's wearing it. So he gets a great night's sleep and wakes up like,
oh, group hug everyone, come on!
Ultramatic CPAP machines. Truly life-changing. Ultramatic.com.au.
I'm Peter. I used to run half marathons and then I caught COVID. Even though I was healthy, young and double vaxxed, it nearly killed me.
Double vaxxed isn't fully vaxxed. Book your third COVID shot now.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's FIVEAA.
It's 18 minutes past 3 o'clock and we're talking motoring with Trent Nikolic from drive.com.au. And Jim joins us from Parkside. Hi, Jim.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Really good. What would you like to talk to Trent about?
Well, it's about service, but I've got a 2016 first registered 2017 Audi A3 Cabriolet.
Yep.
And to give you an idea, it's done 7.5 kilometres a day.
So not a lot, mate, is what you're saying.
It's 15,000 Ks. Now, it's gone past its, where you take it Audi for servicing. So my question is, does it need to be serviced every year with those sort of kilometres on it?
Look, one of the things is, mate, and this is a really important message for anybody. The big key with, not even with modern cars, even with old cars really, is that the reason they tend to have, with the recommended servicing, they'll say something like 10 or 15,000 kilometres or 12 months. The reason they put the time there is because specifically things like engine oil and filters start to degrade after that period of time, even more so if they're not being used that often. So things like, you can end up with water start to build up, a little bit of condensation. It's always worth having your brake fluid checked as well. So I would absolutely, even if you're not doing a lot of driving, I would still book it in every 12 months for an oil and filter change and just a regular checkup. You're not going to need things like new brake pads and the coolant done and all that sort of stuff, because you're just not using it enough, right, as you said.
Yeah.
But I think just in terms of engine oil and filters, it's always good practice to do that every 12 months, regardless of how many kilometres you put on it.
Okay, I'm overdue then.
Yeah, look, a modern car, nothing's going to happen if you're a couple of months overdue. But yeah, I'd definitely do that, mate, because it's just a smart way of ensuring that you've always got good oil, you've always got good filters, and you're never going to have a problem with your engine.
Do you walk everywhere, Jim?
Well, no, it's my wife's car, and she works in the city. And most of the times, it's a 2-kilometre trip, and then family time we use the Skoda, so it just sits there. But my 15-year-old can't wait for it to be his car for. He's already got his own set of keys ready to go.
Well, he's eyeing off a brand new car, mate, as his first car. That's what he's eyeing off.
Well, he's told everyone about that, no, yeah, for sure.
Oh, smart kid. We've got Darren who's called in. Thanks so much, Jim. Good luck. Hi, Darren. How you going?
Good, you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. What would you like to talk to Trent about?
So Trent, I'm a car boy and I've got numerous sort of nice cars that are going up in value. But have you seen the Hyundai Prophecy?
The Hyundai Prophecy, did you say?
Yeah, the Prophecy. So it's a concept.
I've only seen photos of it, mate. I've never seen it in the flesh. No.
No. But I just because in retirement I'll probably get an electric car. And I thought that when I saw the Prophecy, I thought that's stunning. And it said that they were gonna model the new Ioniq 6 on it. But from what I've seen is the Ioniq 6 is they've just tamed it back so much.
I think so. There's a couple of things there, mate. I agree with you. For listeners who don't know what we're talking about, the Prophecy is effectively a prototype sort of design study that Hyundai did of a new electric vehicle. It looks stunning. It looks like some kind of Aston Martin or Bentley or something. It looks beautiful. What I think is interesting though is often these prototype cars and design studies that they do, when they bring them to production, there are so many compromises they have to make for things like safety and visibility and all that kind of stuff that it doesn't actually come to production looking anything like the concept car. But the other thing that I think is most interesting that I speak to automotive designers about this a lot when we have the chance to sit down and interview them. I don't think manufacturers yet have really started to properly explore what you can do with an electric vehicle, because you don't have an engine and a drivetrain in the conventional sense positioned where they would normally be. So the actual design of the car can be completely different from what we understand a conventional vehicle to look like. There's absolutely no reason an electric vehicle has to look like that basic 3-box design that we see with a lot of modern cars. So I'd like to see manufacturers really explore some of this interesting stuff.
No, mate, all I want really is, I can't afford a Tesla Roadster. That's just out of my league. I just want something that looks sporty, if you know what I mean. Not
exactly. And look, I think electric vehicles will. I think they will start to look like that. I think that they'll start to go sporty. At the moment, they're targeting segments because it's new technology. They're targeting segments that they think people are most interested in, whether that's medium SUVs or small SUVs or large sedans, whatever it might be. But yeah, I think they'll start to go sporty as we see more of them on the road.
Thanks, Darren. And we've got a message here. How long is the norm for what time for brand new cars from overseas?
To actually wait for them to get here, Jade, or if
it's a message.
In terms of them...
So yeah, I'm guessing from purchase to receiving it.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things. If you're talking about when the car's released overseas, it can be anywhere from 6 months to a year before it gets here, because sometimes they go to left-hand drive markets first, or there's various different reasons that we don't get them straight away. But at the moment, if you're trying to buy, if you're talking about from the point of putting an order in for a car and then actually receiving it, if you're trying to buy something that's popular, that everybody wants, there's horrendous wait times. They can be out to 18 months and 2 years. I reckon it's probably averaged might be 8 to 12 months, I would guess, from what I can see and what we've been told from the various manufacturers. So anything that's incredibly popular, Jade, at the moment, you are waiting quite a while for.
What's popular?
What, apart from you and me?
Yeah.
I mean, things like Toyota RAV4, Hyundai Tucson, they recently got some diesel versions of those, but there's a wait on some other Tucsons. Kia Sorento, Kia Carnival, Toyota Land Cruiser, 300 series, 70 series. Prado, there's a bit of a wait on at the moment.
So everything.
Yeah, almost everything. A lot of the dual cabs, Isuzu D-Max, I think you could get Mazda BT50 and Mitsubishi Triton at the moment, but Hilux is in short supply. Yeah, basically all the popular stuff is problematic at the moment.
We've got Tom on the line from Holden Hill. Hello, Tom.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry, this is basically a general mechanical question. I used to be in the trade myself, but I left back in the 90s. Basically, fuel injection wasn't the in thing. But I have a 2001 Toyota Echo that will not run on 91 grade fuel. What say it won't run? It will run, but it pings like crazy.
Yeah,
and even 95 doesn't cut it. 98, and given the price, 98 is 90% better, but given the price of it, and all I'm getting, apart from spending once over $350, which made it better for a while, is the same sort of thing. We process elimination, we replace this, we replace that, and down the line, and eventually it's cost more than the car's worth.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is the quality of fuel really does adversely affect, or can adversely affect how the car runs. Yeah, I think what you need to do, and your advice is good for everybody, right? Like that comment is a good one, and it's why I tell people to avoid E10 like the plague, even if your car says it'll run on E10. You can get octane booster that you can top fuel up with, so you could run 91, put a bit of octane booster in it. That might be cheaper than actually trying to run 98. Most petrol stations will sell octane booster in little bottles that you fill up at the tank. But yeah, the sad reality is that generally speaking, cars will run better on better fuel, which is not the advice that you want to be giving everybody when petrol is as expensive as it is. But I think, yeah, like you said, mate, a lot of people that are like you that find that problem, you're in a situation where you've got to run a minimum of 95 for your car to run correctly.
Well, I was told by at least two different companies that the quality of our fuel is far inferior to many other Western countries, and it's actually undrivable almost on 91.
Yeah, mate, and that advice is correct. Like, we've got vastly better fuel than the United States, for example, but if you compare us to Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, other parts of Asia, Europe, the quality of our fuel and the octane rating of our fuel is way down. Absolutely right.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you very much. Is there a trick there that you can perhaps mix petrol? Is that allowed?
You can mix petrol, but my advice, Jay, is always to run the best quality fuel that you can afford. So definitely don't use E10. I advise, and I've got a bunch of friends who are mechanics who advise that you don't use it and stay well away from it. If you can find regular 91, that's usually okay. 95 or 98 if you can afford it. But if you look inside at a petrol station where they sell the motor oil and the two-stroke oil and stuff like that, they'll often have these little tubes of octane booster, and you can just run that in the petrol, and that will lift the octane capability of the fuel, and it should run better. But you can try that if you like.
Just got a quick message here. What can you tell me, please, Trent, about the Golf MK8?
Mark 8, so that's new Volkswagen Golf. It is a very, very good car. Volkswagen Golf is just a fantastic vehicle. It really is. Everything it does exactly as you would expect it to do. And I think all you've got to decide that you need within that range, Jade, is which Golf your budget suits. You know, if it suits the entry-level car, fine. If you're looking at performance car like GTI or Golf R, also fantastic. But Golf Mark 8 is excellent.
What are they tapping out at these days?
A Golf R, I think, is around $63,000 or $4,000, I think, give or take, somewhere around that. The price has moved around a little bit recently, but they're not cheap. But then again, they're incredibly capable, powerful all-wheel drive car with, the practicality of owning a Golf.
That was my first car, a little second, third-hand Golf. Loved
That's it. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jade. Talk to you later.
Talk to you soon. Trent Nikolic there. And if you'd like to jump on drive.com.au, there's a couple of stories that we spoke about today that you can read about in more depth there. We're going to take a short break. Coming up afterwards, a shortage of a diabetic drug due to a social media craze. And also, we touched on earlier in the program, supply chains in the supermarket. You may start seeing some empty shelves because truckies are being forced to get off the road because of this whole fuel tax discount that the former government brought in. So it's having a huge ripple effect on the truckies. We'll talk about that soon.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamareg. A man's been charged with the murder of missing New South Wales man Peter Hillier at Venus Bay on the Eyre Peninsula. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has used his first address to the federal caucus to outline his ambitions for the Labor Party. A magnitude 3 earthquake has been reported in southeast Queensland, with tremors felt across Brisbane's northern suburbs, and another chapter in the rivalry of tennis giants Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic will be written tonight when they meet in the French Open quarterfinals. Showers and windy this afternoon, 14. Currently it's 12 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
There's one sign on Doothie Street Unley you must see. It's the Kirkbride seafood sign. It changes daily, from fresh crays to Atlantic salmon, King George whiting, garfish and SA King prawns. All sustainably fished and processed on site at Kirkbride Seafood. Not some faraway factory. It's a good sign that you're getting the best you can get, and so close to the city. See what's on the sign today. Kirkbride Seafood, Doothie Street Unley, kirkbrideseafood.com.au.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family-owned and operated, because it's personal.
Some Aboriginal artists paint with dots, but some sculpt or weave. Some Aboriginal musicians play the yidaki, or you might know it as a didgeridoo. But some play guitar or rap. There's more to Aboriginal artistry than dots and yidakis. Ochre Dawn Creative Industries is a First Nations business connecting Australia's ancient cultures with today's corporations by bringing your business to life through art. Ask us how. Ochre Dawn Creative Industries, bringing your story to life.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Recently, we've achieved suburb record prices in Toorak Gardens, Colonel Art Gardens and Woodville Park. That's industry-leading results right across Adelaide. Could your home be the next record breaker? Go to toop.com.au.
Welcome back, world. Hey guys, it's Hayley and Lauren here from Adelaide. Come and join us at World Travel Fest. Fuel your wanderlust with travel talks, expert advice and holidays to be won on the day. Let us help you uncover the best holidays from around the globe. Free entry, Sunday, June 26, Adelaide Convention Centre. Register today at worldtravelfest.com.au.
Over 1,100 people are killed on Australian roads each year, and thousands more are seriously injured.
With 7 in 10 road users admitting to breaking the road rules.
It's time to be the change you want to see on the road.
We are asking all Australians to focus on road safety in the lead up to Fatality Free Friday.
Together, we can save thousands of families
from a lifetime of grief.
Join us by taking and living the Australian Road Safety Foundation pledge to choose road safety.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Callum here. It's not by chance that Edwardstown Mazda is located bang on South Road. They wanted to make it easy to get your car serviced. Any make or model. Make a pit stop at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to the program. It is 3:34 on this Tuesday afternoon. A chilly Tuesday, isn't it? I took the dog for a walk this morning and he stepped outside and wanted to turn around and come straight back in. I thought, George, I don't blame you. Wowzers, it was cold. Well, social media is being blamed for a shortage of medication for diabetics. It's being promoted as a miracle weight loss drug. Professor Karen Price is the president of the Royal Australian College of GPs and she joins us on the line. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. What is this drug?
This drug is part of the diabetic range of medication used for diabetes, but it does also help with suppressing appetite through the brain and gut influences and can help people with some weight loss.
So what's its role in helping people with diabetes?
Well, in diabetes, it's obviously very important for people to who are not requiring insulin necessarily, to type 2 diabetic, who can have medication that really supports their practical day-to-day life, and this responds to glucose on a regular basis, so it tends to not cause the hypoglycemia that insulin can cause. So it's a really good drug for diabetics.
And then how does it assist with weight loss?
Well, with weight loss, it's been noted that it also seems to help with preventing people from feeling as full as they were through brain and gut influences, as well as stimulating the insulin needed, but only in the required amount. So, look, it's been observed, but it's not indicated for this use. So it's being prescribed off-label, which means that the people who are needing it for diabetes are not able to get it because so many people are using it for weight loss, which is an off-label use.
And so it's become quite well known, all thanks to social media, is that right?
Well, that's right. So there are other drugs used for weight loss, and really weight loss, there's no magic pill, there's no miracle. It is a complicated process, and it does need to be fully assessed by your doctor to include, your genetics, your lifestyle, what other drugs you might be on, and whether or not you might be pregnant or breastfeeding, because this drug in particular is what we call category D, so not at all safe for pregnant women or those breastfeeding. So there's a range of side effects, including quite awful diarrhea and so forth. So this all needs to be gone through very carefully so people are fully aware of what they're taking, why they're taking it, and what to look out for.
Are you seeing more people present to the doctor and saying, hey, I saw this on Facebook or TikTok and I'd really like to give it a try?
Absolutely, and look, it's now social media, but it used to be little newspaper clippings. So it's really just the way that we communicate across the back fence now using technology. So, and that's okay. We welcome people bringing in that kind of information because it's really important that they discuss it with the healthcare provider and make sure they're getting fully informed information rather than just some kind of advertorial, because anyone can probably sell ice to the Eskimos, but we really need to make sure you're fully informed, and there really is no such thing as a miracle drug for weight loss.
So are some people, are some doctors prescribing this to also lower weight to then reduce diabetes? Is that how this drug works as well, in conjunction with both?
Yes, so there's preventive aspects, of course, and certainly obesity and people who are overweight have significant risks of other health-related conditions, but there are other drugs available, and we've got a significant shortage of this. So a diabetic finds it very hard to switch medications, whereas it may be easier for someone who's needing it for weight loss for various medical reasons to discuss with their doctor what might be a suitable alternative. I also note in the research coming out of St Vincent's that there's a possibility of an oral drug coming along sometime in the future that's along these lines. So there's lots of interesting research going on, but it really needs to go through the proper process, and we certainly need to not deprive diabetic patients of their essential medication.
Well, Shane's just messaged in here and he says, my GP has prescribed, is it Ozempic?
Ozempic.
Ozempic for me, but I can't get it. Now, for someone like Shane, who his GP wants him to start taking it, if he can't get that, what are the dangers for a diabetic?
Well, that's right. He has to switch into another type of medication, and there are some cousins of that particular medication that he can get, but he's likely to go through a period of instability in his blood sugars, and this is not good for diabetic control, and it also gives a certain amount of insecurity for that patient. So we're really asking people who might be needing it, using it for weight loss, that there are other alternatives for their doctor to prescribe, and that we need to leave this medication for current diabetics who are using it at the moment. I'm trying to figure out why there's such a shortage, and it appears to be some kind of manufacturing issue with the manufacturer and an increased demand that we've had probably post-COVID pandemic.
Oh, it's supply chain issues everywhere at the moment, isn't it? But,
yes, it is.
Is it alarmingly low levels?
Well, it is if you're a diabetic. So I think we need to make sure that the pharmacists and doctors and patients are aware that there is a significant shortage and just use this medication for those people who are needing it for diabetes. There are other drugs that are licensed for use for weight loss, and that really we should be directing patients to those within a comprehensive weight management program.
But surely there wouldn't be any GPs that you could just rock up and go, oh, hey, I'd like this because it's for weight loss. Surely they'd sit down and talk to you about the fact that, oh, it's really for diabetes. They wouldn't just hand it over, surely.
No, but there are times when doctors prescribe off-label, which is perfectly fine as long as you've got appropriate consent and informed procedures,
right.
Which is fine as long as there's not a shortage. When we find there's a shortage, then we really need to think about its rational use, and there may be other medications that we could use in the meantime.
So someone with type 2 diabetes that is listening and they can't perhaps get their medication, what should they be contacting their GP to say, can you get me an order?
Yeah, look, we really should be. They should be going back to their doctor and saying, I can't get it. There is another medication called dulaglutide, which is a cousin, and they may have to switch to that in the meantime to try and maintain their diabetes control.
Thank you very much. That is Dr. Karen Price, President there of the Royal Australian College of GPs. I came across this story today and it made me giggle to start with, and then I felt really sorry for the mum, then I felt really sorry for the husband, and I want to know what team you're on here. So a first-time mum, she had a bit of a fight with her husband during labour, so bad that she kicked her husband out and he missed the birth of their first child. So he's turned around while she's huffing and puffing, and he's turned around and said to her, you're a hormonal mess. And as any woman out there listening who has given birth, you know that when you're in the huff and puff point, everything's hurting, you're not really wanting to be criticised at that point. You're wanting so much support. So he's turned around and said, yeah, well, you're being really difficult and you are a hormonal mess. So she's responded with a few swear words and right royally told him to get nicked. Get out. I don't want you in here. And anyway, he's then turned around and called her a few names and walked off and totally missed the birth of his first child, his daughter. Now, he has refused to come back for, I think it was around 24 hours. Anyway, father has since met daughter, and I think they're happy families now. But holy moly, what a spat that is. Have you ever heard a story quite like that in the delivery room? Have you cracked it at your husband or your partner that was in there that maybe you've said the wrong thing or try to give you a massage? You're like, just don't touch me. I don't want anyone near me. My babies came out way too quickly. Ben nearly missed the birth of our first one because the firstborn came out so fast. He was there and it was all fine. But, I don't know that I'd ever get into a screaming match at that particular point. I'm not sure that would be the first thing in my mind. But have you got a doozy story that you can tell me about delivery suites? 8223 0000. Coming up after the break, we'll take your calls. Also, Rowey will join us to let us know what's happening on the sports show. And we're going to touch base with, the Transport Association in regards to this alarming, it's a warning for shoppers out there because the truckies are saying, beware, when you go shopping, you may find that your supermarket shelves are going to be bare because we simply cannot afford to fill our trucks up. And many companies, apparently half of South Australia's trucking companies, are facing bankruptcy. So we'll chat about that soon.
What makes an iconic South Australian business? It's a special combination showcased in FIVEAA's Best of SA. Produced in the small town of Maiponga, Flurio Milk Company is a 100% locally owned and operated dairy plant that supports local dairy farmers. Flurio Milk Company produces real milk, the way it used to taste. And because it's so local, it can be straight from the farm to your table within hours. The Best of SA, thanks to Flurio Milk Company and 1395 Adelaide's FIVEAA.
I'm Jane. Nursing Director at Flinders Medical Centre. I see many patients who are healthy and double vaxxed and thought they were fully protected against COVID. They didn't realise the vaccine effectiveness fades over time, along with their immunity to COVID. This winter, remember, double vaxxed isn't fully vaxxed, and a third shot is your best shot at not catching COVID, spreading COVID, or ending up in hospital. Book your third COVID shot now.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
Rowey, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Rowey Business Sales SA.
If you're looking to try the exciting MG range, pop into New Spot MG, now open in the city on West Terrace. You can test drive the full MG range, including Australia's #1 selling small hatch under 20k, the impressive MG3, or try the exciting MG SUV range, all with 7-year warranty, some available with EV and hybrid options. Visit the New Spot MG City Showroom, now on West Terrace, Adelaide. New Spot MG, 3 convenient locations: Adelaide, Hampstead Gardens and Salisbury Park.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Thinking of renovating or building? Then don't miss the Master Builders Home Show at the Adelaide Showground this Friday to Sunday with free entry. More info at kjex.com.au.
Oh, it's cold outside, but it's hotting up at Harris Scarf for Giant June. Looking for beautiful cosy bedding, flannelette sheets and electric blankets for snuggly nights? You're warm. Slow cookers for comfort food. Getting warmer. Cast iron cookware for Nana's secret winter recipes. Warmer, warmer. 40 to 60% off all homewares in Manchester and 20 to 30% off all electrical. Hot, hot, hot! Harris Scarf's Giant June, with great prices that make a chilly winter feel like a heat wave.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive Officer of Western Hospital at Henley Beach. Did you know that Western Hospital specialists are some of the most experienced in South Australia? We've handpicked our surgeons and physicians to ensure you are cared for in a compassionate and trusted environment. Your health is our priority as we provide care in our one-stop healthcare hub. For more information on our specialist team of surgeons and physicians, visit westernhospital.com.au, your hospital that cares.
Did you know that ancient Romans considered a large, noisy funeral to be a symbol of wealth? At Simplicity Funerals, we believe a funeral needn't cost the earth to mean the world. It pays to keep things simple. simplicityfunerals.com.au.
Lions serve your community from clubs across South Australia, from making strides with diabetes, skin cancer checks and repurposing glasses, to looking out for our environment and supporting communities in emergencies. Volunteers can live longer and feel more connected, so being a Lion is good for you. Lions has countless volunteering opportunities with activities like managing bookshops, art shows, barbecues, furniture sheds and food drives. So let's keep South Australia strong. Join Lions.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
It is 3:48. Welcome back to Afternoons. Rowey Sports Show's coming up after 4 o'clock. And the great man joins us in the studio. Rowey, how are you today?
Jade, how are you? Delivery sweets. I had 3 beautiful kids. My wife was just an absolute machine. My advice to the dads is get on really well with your obstetrician. Become a very dear friend of theirs, as I did with our obstetrician. I won't mention his name. Dr. Svigos is an absolute legend.
Dr. Svigos.
An absolute legend.
Oh, I love him dearly.
The greatest man God put on earth, or one of.
I agree.
So you get on well with him, so he allows you to have gas one-on-one with your wife. And then make sure there's a little leather seat there, because he'll tell you to sit down, and I got told to sit down.
And just be quiet and let me do what I need to do.
Oh boy, wowee, that gas is better than the green whistle. Anyway, Timmy G to give us Port's half-yearly report card. I gave him a fail. Cornsey joins us after 5. Kevin Sheedy, the great man. And I'm billing tomorrow's mid-year AFL rookie draft as the decider who wins the Sanford Grand Final. That's how important it will be. Imagine two Glenelg players ending up at the Crows, or, Sturt players ending up.
It sucks for them.
It sucks.
It does. You can't put a shine to it.
Okay.
It's really not great for the
And when
SNL
you put the
team.
gas to your mouth, you've got to breathe in so heavy that you hear the marble just bounce around.
Oh,
in the...
all right. It must
Okay.
have been
Yeah,
really
good.
hard for you.
Yeah, you know it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like Sharon's
hang
husband
on.
here. My labour was very long and my poor husband had to go and have a lie down halfway through. Poor husband.
Well, I adore my wife, and I didn't like seeing her in pain, and there's nothing that you can do. So you might as well just take yourself out of the equation and get on the gas.
Is that how you spin it? Okay, good. Well done. Hey, Dean, welcome to the show.
How you going?
Really good, mate.
Hey, about well, it was a week before my son was born, and he was born at 10.5 pounds, right?
Ooh.
Naturally, right?
Wow.
I was playing hide and seek with my daughter. Now, one rule in hide and seek, you don't change the place you're hiding. Guess what? I did. So I'm running down the side of the house and I cracked my head on the bloody window brick thing that's poking out. 20 stitches later, right? Yeah.
Your
So
brain's
anyway,
falling out.
if I had one. So my head's dressed up like a mummy, and we're off to the hospital a week later to have the baby, right, my son. And out come the nurses and everything, and they put me in the wheelchair, not my wife.
That would have gone down like a lead balloon.
Oh, you reckon I've recovered from that? I don't think so. Nope.
Oh, I love that, Dean. Thank you. Stay on the line. I'm sending you a Wallace Cinema pass. Hello, Joyce.
Hello. After that, I think I might as well get off the air.
Oh, could you imagine?
No. Well, I was just about bent over and buckled over sort of thing, last minute. Anyway, so then I thought, I just want to get these last couple of clothes on the line. Anyway, so then my husband came out to me and he said, if you got half a minute, he said, do you think you could cut my lunch? Oh, right. Then I thought, cut your lunch, lad. You don't know how close it was.
Oh, yeah, don't you put a knife in my hand, mister.
Yeah, never forget it.
Joyce, were you in labour and you were hanging out washing?
Oh, well, I hadn't got to... I mean, we were ready to go to the hospital. And yes, I was, definitely.
Oh, you're a trooper.
Things were all happening, But I just thought, I just want to get these last few clothes on. When you're reaching up and you don't really want to reach.
Yep. It hurts
and
like
I was
hell.
stretching up and reaching up, and he came out and he just said, if you, got half a chance, you think you could cut my lunch?
Oh, yeah, just before I lose you for a week in hospital, do you mind if you make me a sandwich? Oh, tell you where to go. Joyce, that's gorgeous. I will send you a Wallace Cinema pass as well. We've got Dean on the line. Hi, Dean.
Hello, how are you? My first wife, my ex-wife anyway, she had 4 children. Last one was 10 pounds 6 and 23 stitches and nothing at all. The first one, the women next door, they were Italians, they were screaming like hell, and she was shocked as hell, and she said, I'm going to have this naturally, I'm going to have this naturally. Then she said, give me the gas, give me the epidural, give me everything. And because he was so scared because all the other women were screaming like hell.
Well, that is enough to put you off. I agree with that. I rocked up to the hospital and I had a box of chocolates and I said to the nurses, this is in advance because I'm so sorry. Anything could come out of my mouth. I have no idea how this is going to play out. And then I'm walking down the aisle and then the next minute I'm hearing 2 women screaming at the top of their lungs. And I just wanted to turn around, put a plug in it and go home.
Yeah, exactly right. And like she had a 10 pound 6 baby, 23 stitches, nothing, and didn't squirm at all.
Oh, what a trooper. I love that. Good on her. I'll send you a Wallace Cinema pass too. And we have Armin on the line. Hello, Armin. Hello, have we got you?
Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. What's your story?
So when my son was born at the Women's and Children's Hospital, we had a midwife and a student midwife attending to my wife. I guess halfway through labour, I was sort of seeing a lot of things that I hadn't seen a human being go through before. So I found it quite shocking. Anyway, it had been a long day and I passed out. And when I woke up, I had probably about 5 or 6 midwives and nurses around me. And to this day, I'm reminded of that story because there were more midwives and nurses attending to my needs than there were to my poor wife who was giving birth.
You will never, ever live that down.
No, I'm hoping to use that at his, 18th or 21st. Later on down the track. So.
Do you know, I reckon this would actually be a common story. I reckon a lot of blokes would feel a bit queasy.
Yeah, I like to hope so too. So maybe you might hear more stories that would be the same as this one.
Well, we'll make you feel better. Thank you, and good story. And we've got Mike on the line. Hey, Mike. You got your mic? No, we don't. I think he's gone. We'll try you one more time. Have we got your mic? Nope, sorry. Thank you so much. Hilarious stories today. Gosh, anything can go wrong, can't it? Don't you love when you're doing the Huff and Puff classes, though, and they send you away after, I think, you're getting to the pointy end, and they say, right, now go home, write a birth plan between the two of you, and you sit and you're like, I've got no idea what's going to happen, what's on around the corner. Anything could happen. So I just wrote, Dear Mr. Sfigos, I'm in your hands. You're the expert, and... lo and behold, here I am being told that it could go for 12 hours, 18 hours, however long, 2 hours later, and I had my beautiful baby boy. You just don't know. But, the things I packed, lollies, a video, everything. I was that prepared and nothing. Didn't even get to open up my bag. Anyway, two beautiful bundle of joys, but gosh, it's funny in that delivery suite, isn't it? All sorts of stories go on. That is a wrap for today's show. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of it. Rowey Sports Show is coming up next. Have a fantastic afternoon and stay warm.
Can you believe it? It's the end of financial year already, and the team at Edwardstown Mazda are loving it because the savings they can pass on are outstanding. Drive away in a new Mazda CX-30 from $33,297 and the all-new CX-5 from $36,209.